Hello YouTube, this is VidHead85 and thank you so much for joining me for this episode here today. I am going to read off, there is a wonderful article, Why Do We Still Need Pride Month? And it's written by Carl Spalding, originally published in Be the Change. It was from July of 2024, so we're going to kick it off. Every year, June takes on a new form of Pride Month celebrations as times, attitudes, political landscape, and LGBTQ plus people themselves change. This year, for many, it served as a reminder that securing a full, safe, and welcoming place for queer people is far from over. As we enter peak turbulence of an election year in the United States, culture wars, trans people's very existence, and LGBTQ plus livelihood increasingly become political talking points, while misinformation spreads and attempts to excite and scare voters. Seemingly more so than in other years, Pride Month discourse has peaked, from kink at Pride to bi women bringing their straight boyfriends to Jon Stewart's take on corporate morality. The discourse is discoursing. Chronically online discussions aside, I'm reminded about the purpose of Pride Month is also an ever-changing concept. A well-meaning friend recently asked me why we still need Pride Month. His intention was likely from a "we've come so far" attitude. Still, it got me thinking about how folks perceive pride across various spectrums, political, theological, or otherwise. Living in Denver, Colorado, I'm just as likely to overhear someone ask when straight pride is. Oh boy. And as I am to hear someone celebrate the movement's progress and wonder what they can still do. At the end of the day, our community's progress is still fairly new and in danger of being reversed. I've only been able to get married for about 10 years, which is around a third of my life. For a significant portion of my life, I was told marriage literally wasn't for me. And even now, today's Supreme Court has shown they aren't opposed to rolling back individual rights and overturning long-standing legal decisions. So, why do we still need Pride Month? To remember what Pride Month was and is a justice movement. Many folks lament pride parades and events have lost sight of the riotous beginnings of the LGBTQ plus movement, and rightfully so. More and more companies pink or rainbow wash when it serves their bottom line, benefiting from the appearance of supporting the LGBTQ plus community without taking meaningful action to actually support rights and causes. Even when participating in allyship, dominant social groups risk co-opting and erasing history. The LGBT plus community needs corporate support as cis straight allyship to continue and broaden the momentum of the original riot the Pride was, to better know and honor our neighbors and friends. An estimated 14 to 20 million people live in the U.S. are LGBTQ+. That's between 5.5 and 8% of the adult population. And even still, there are some might be underestimates, as some individuals may not disclose their identity in surveys for various reasons. Greater visibility and acceptance of queer identities have led to more folks feeling safe coming out. The simple act of being aware of, in support of, and willing to honor Pride Month in queer communities carries more impact than you might realize. Another reason, to symbolically respond to prejudiced attacks. Political fueled and endorsed attacks like the Colorado Republican Party sending out an official call to burn all pride flags aren't new and aren't going away. The ACLU is tracking over 100 bills attacking transgender people in state legislatures. So when a call to burn pride flags might seem dramatic but innocuous, it plants a seed that grows into a more institutional and direct attack on queer communities, telling extremists that their dangerous and violent views are not only supported but endorsed. Another reason, to keep the conversation going, especially in our online world. A simple and effective way to remember why we still need Pride Month exists in the comments section of any official social media account. Look at the Instagram comments on Pride posts from your favorite brand or organization. The odds are pretty high that there will be calls to unfollow, cries that the group has gone woke, and queer people expressing gratitude on equal ground. Now, social media might seem like an increasingly superficial space for meaningful discourse, but it carries more weight than you think. The fact remains that June can both feel like a validating and terrifying serving as a reminder that many people don't condone our very existence. So, what's the state of affairs of LGBTQ folk in the US? So, as of June 2024, ACLU is tracking more than 520 anti-queer bills in the U.S. Violence against queer people is on the rise. Queer people still face discrimination amongst many systems, including employment, housing, and healthcare. 41% of queer adults aged 45 or older worry about having to hide their queer identity to access housing for older adults. States restrict access to education, sports, LGBTQ plus history, particularly in the South, despite having the highest percentage of queer people. June last year, the Human Rights HRC declared a state of emergency for queer Americans for the first time in 2023. A trans and trans people of color are increasingly the focus of the above. A trans person is far more likely than a cisgender person to be victim of a violent crime. So how can we take each pride, what action can we take for each Pride Month and beyond? Localize your efforts and tune into anti-LGBT legislation in your area. The Equality Federation is a great place to start. Create a workplace of culture and belonging, from mental health resources to purposeful representation and policies within the company. Support and uplift local thought leaders and LGBTQ plus owned companies. The LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce and B Labs directory can help. And if you're in the United States, vote like the future of the Supreme Court depends on it. Of course, I sure did. And perhaps most importantly, make your support for the queer community visible year round. We exist outside of June, and our victories and challenges do as well. So thank you so much for joining me for this. I believe that there are so many people out here who refuse to quote, they don't agree with the lifestyle, so they want to publicly erase individuals like myself from the public sphere, and they will not stop. And I'm not going away either. We will not go away. We have been here forever. All right. See you soon. Have a great day.